Dagostino joins us in studio. It's a great time of the year, man. I love this time of year. March starts on Thursday. The madness has already underway here in the Capital Region. Love the Section 2 stuff. I love the road to the States, but I love the Section 2. I love the Glens Falls Civic Center. I love Hudson Valley Community College. I was there on Saturday watching Colony Troy. And now tonight, if you're a high school basketball fan, and that's what we have in the Capital Region, you might not have gone to any of the 4 schools that are currently left, but you love high school basketball. You've been following. You're going to the Civic Center tonight to watch the Final Four. Steve D'Agostino joins us in studio from Dags Basketball. Good morning, Steve.
Morning. How you guys doing?
We're great, man. You're great this time of year, man.
I love it. I love seeing players, whether it's the high school age players or college age players, play in games that matter. You know, like win or go home. You're facing adversity the whole game. Yeah, I love just to see their decisions, to see how they act, to see how they play, all that stuff. Yeah. It's great. Jimmy
Patso sent me a text on Saturday because my team played North Colony.
Yeah.
We won in overtime, 5th grade. So we'll go into this tournament this weekend as the number 1 seed, but it's so close.
Yeah.
I mean, North Colony, this is 5th grade travel, so North Colony, Clifton Park, and Albany are the Final Four.
There you go.
And you can split hairs. Yep. I mean, it's 1-2 point game no matter who you play.
Same as the double A's tonight.
You're right, same as double A's tonight.
Yep.
So we have a play at the end of the game that I run a little side out.
Yeah.
Game's tied at 27 apiece. No, I don't know what the score was. It was higher than that. Whatever the score was, we have the ball side out. I run a play. Of course, my son is at the front of this. I got them all lined up in a line, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
North Colony lines up exactly how I wanted them to line up. So I take Brady and circle him out around and send him to the hoop.
Yeah.
No one goes with him for the most part. He's wide open. Catches the ball, goes in, got hammered. Got hammered.
No call.
I mean, got hammered.
you
hammered.
Now,
yeah.
No call whatsoever. And they came down. They don't score in the last possession. We go to overtime. We win in overtime.
Nice.
All good. I got to, talk my son off a ledge.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's a good learning lesson. You got to keep your head. In fact, he didn't play in the overtime because he was so
out of it.
Dad, they didn't call it.
Yeah.
Go. You're good. Just go sit down.
Right.
Put somebody else in the game. And somebody else made the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
So it worked out. But Patsos was there and sends me a text like, great win in overtime. How did you not lose your mind on the last play?
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, very easily.
Oh yeah.
If I lose my mind in the last play and get teed up, and North Colony shoots 2 foul shots and gets the ball out, we lose the game because of me.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
I thought you
wanted to do that.
Oh yeah.
I thought you go like Bob Huggins or Jim Boeheim at Duke throwing the blazer off in the middle of the court or something.
No. I go crazy in games. I'm out of my mind. Mm-hmm. But at that situation, I'm just trying to keep my head going, well, it's still a tie game.
Yeah, right.
We got to get a stop and go to overtime. Yeah. I can't worry about yelling at the official right now, even though it was clearly kid undercut Brady on the way to the hoop. And there was no call.
It's 5th grade basketball.
It's 5th grade basketball, so let's not get too wound up. So let me start with the girls. Any surprises? This Bethlehem team has won 15 in a row. Yeah. They haven't lost since December the 15th.
Yeah, they're playing awesome. And that's what it is. Whether you're, again, high school or college, you want to peak at the right time, and they're certainly peaking at the right time. And Shen's got really good players. They're deep. They've won it before, and I was following that game on Twitter last night because we do a lot of work with Cam Tooley from Shen, and
they did a good job defensively.
You're a little surprised, but when you look back at it, you're like, Bethlehem's won 15 games in a row. Their confidence is high. Why wouldn't they have beaten Shen?
Senior team, too.
Exactly.
Senior team.
Exactly. They have an 8th grader, Ava LeClaire, who's supposed to be really, really good as well. So they got a nice mix coming up. They do a good job in their girls program over there at the youth level. Anytime we have Bethlehem girls come in, they're always starting with their form shooting, and they can make layups with both hands. They got a good thing going over there for sure.
So Shen is out. Bethlehem moves on to play Colony.
Yep.
In the finals, Colony beat Shaker. So you got a Bethlehem Colony.
Yeah.
And Colony is much like Bethlehem, where that's a senior group too.
Yeah.
Coach Heather Fury has had this group for a while, and they're talking about the 4 Acres of the world and Leah Wrights of the world. Yeah. It's a senior laden team.
Yeah, that'll be a really good matchup of team basketball. And which is, listen, I was thinking about it on the way over here. If you're watching the NBA playoffs, it's you need a star to carry you in the last 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. In college basketball, you need to execute. Teams that win in March, not the team with the number 1 player in the country, it's the teams that execute. High school is a little bit of both. right? If you have, you need your leading scorers to play really, really well, but you need to execute and play hard. How many games have you seen this year alone where guys aren't playing hard and they lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to, and you're like, what's going on here? So, especially when you're talking about whether it's the girls side, the boys side, Class AA, A, B, you're looking for the best players on the court to do what they do best, but also the teams need to execute, follow the game plan, guard, and do what you want to do offensively.
Brian and I were just talking before you came in. JG3 and Glens Falls out. Now, he gets 56 last night. Trent Gerard got 19. The next highest score was 4. And they end up getting bounced 87-82 to, I think, a really good Chalmont team.
Chalmont's really good. I saw both of them play on Friday. And here's the thing with Glens Falls. If you said, okay, JG3, you can only shoot 20 times per game, and then, everybody else is going to shoot, they wouldn't score 50 points. They literally, like when I see the box score, exactly. He was 17 for 28 the game I saw him against.
He was 17 and 38 last night.
But that's 40%. 11 for 28 from 3 is 40%.
Yeah.
Imagine Cremo tonight shooting 40% from 3. You're like, awesome.
Yeah.
But now do it times whatever 4. I mean, he's unbelievable. And the thing that stands out with him, whether he shoots 100 times or he shoots 1 time, everything he does on the court is to win the game. Where, you go to a lot of high school games, or even like Trae Young at Oklahoma. I'm not convinced he's trying to win every single game. I'm convinced he's trying to get 30 points. Gerard is doing what he has to do for Glens Falls to be whatever they were this year, 18-3 or 19-3 and all that. And that's why, coaches like Duke, Coach K at Duke and Boeheim at Syracuse love him, because at the end of the day, whatever he does, he's a winner and he's a competitor. And, Chalmont they have 5 guys and they're big and they're really, really good. And that was always going to be a tough matchup for Glens Falls.
What do you think about now with Chalmont beating Glens Falls and the McKeel Christian Academy beating Watervliet? That'll lead to quite a matchup in the Class B.
Yeah, I think, McKeel's got to get over the hump here, and they've lost in a couple sectional finals. They would be, I believe McKeel would be in the AA semifinal. If they were a AA, they'd be in the AA semifinals.
I mean, Jordan Jackson's the real deal. He had 27 last night, and Deontay Holder had 20. Both those players are really good.
Yeah, and then Stewart's going to Binghamton. He's a Division I guy. So they're really, really good. You would think that they would have the edge, but Coach Greg over there at Chalmont does a really good job, and their team plays the right way. And if they're hitting threes, they like to shoot them up. If they're hitting threes and playing fast, they're going to be a tough out, too.
I always wonder when I see JG3 just lighting up game in, game out, what defenses are teams playing on him?
So what they're doing is
how do you allow a player consistently to get 50? Are we not playing defense, or is JG3 just this good?
Well, let me change your statement. Nobody's letting him do anything. He's doing stuff that I didn't learn how to do until I was overseas playing pro, as far as angles with scoring the basketball, how to get your shot off, things like that. And what teams are doing is they're putting one guy on him, so that guy's playing him straight up. And then they're shading 2 guys towards him. So they have one guy about 5 feet off to the left, one guy 5 feet off to the right. So they're basically creating a triangle around him. And then they have the other 2 guys kind of in the paint. And those guys will close out whenever he passes the basketball. So, I mean, the what he's doing, like, for example, I texted Shea Bromersky, who does stuff with us, assistant coach of St. Rose. Shea is a tough cookie. He was Class D. You remember him, 30 points a game.
No doubt.
He got the same treatment as Joe George, so he knows all about that with teams throwing everybody at him. I texted him at halftime yesterday. I said, what do you think of JG3? He said, he's the best high school player I've ever seen.
Wow.
And he wouldn't say that. He's very, unbiased and to the point. And the stuff he's doing is unmatched. I mean, he's a lot like Jimmer. But Jimmer wasn't averaging 50 points a game. Jimmer also had a better team, too. He had a bunch of guys around him and all that type of stuff.
This team that is around him is not. I'm not surprised they lost to Chalmont last night.
Right.
I kind of thought they might.
Yeah, you mentioned it yesterday.
The Odell boys are really good, and Shane had 39.
Yeah. They take after their mom, leading rebounder at Siena.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. As Stephen D'Agostino with us in studio, where should he go to college? Where should he go?
I mean,
does he go to the school that will guarantee him the ability to play right away?
Right. Well, I think it's going to be a situation like Playtech at North Carolina. It's like, do you want to be the guy to say, in 4 years, wherever you end up going, that, hey, I passed up on an offer from Duke and Coach K? That's hard to do. The only other way I could see him really going is like, going to a school similar like what Jimmer did at BYU. You know, maybe if Gerard goes to Boston College, he's going to play 30, 35 minutes right away with the ball in his hands, you know, 70% of the game. And Jim Christian over there plays fast. They get up and down the court. You know, there's no wrong answer. You know, does he go to Syracuse playing the zone defensively and jack up threes like Jerry McNamara and all those guys? Right. You know, it's kind of the best fit. I just think when you get blue bloods in there, you get the Carolinas, you get the Dukes, you get the Kansas, hard to say no.
Right. But is he, I don't know him well enough to say, is he a player that needs the ball in his hands? Does he need to shoot a lot? I mean, he's doing it all.
Yeah,
here.
I don't think so. When he played on the EYBL Nike circuit for AAU, which is the best players in the country, 70 of the top 100 players. He played on the highest level, so he played up against the class ahead of him last year, averaged 11 points a game, didn't have the ball in his hands, played off the ball, on the ball, that stuff. And you know, listen, the kid just wants to win, so whatever they need him to do, he'll do.
Very special player, no doubt. Steve Dagostino has some. I was going to ask him off the air, and then if the answer was yes, we would put it on the air.
You mean you put him on the spot before he even got here?
Kind of, but it was my brainstorm thinking the last couple of days, we don't have a guest speaker for our, what I call, prestigious annual All-Star basketball banquet that we've had for 40 years in the making, and it's at the Glenn Sanders in Scotia. And we honor our 10 boys and 10 girls that we select our teams. We will be through 8 picks this week. So I'm thinking, you know, we usually bring in a coach. And I'm like, why? I've got somebody who would be great to talk to these players, Steve Dagostino. He's in. There's the big announcement. Steven Dagostino will be the guest speaker at our News Channel 13 All-Star Basketball Banquet on April 18th at the Glenn Sanders in Scotia. And Stephen will also join me on that night, which is tradition. Whoever our guest speaker is also joins me on News Channel 13 live at 6, because part of the deal is we do our sportscast from the Glenn Sanders on that night at 6 o'clock. So we start the banquet, then I break, do a sportscast at 6:20, come back a little bit more, then we do dinner and on where we go. I guarantee you'll be out in 2 hours. 2 hours is my max.
I'm there for the long haul.
Love it.
There he is.
And look, of the 20 players that we will honor, how many of them would you say you have trained or have seen play?
Yeah, I mean, seen play, probably all of them. You know what I mean? We've probably had, you know, between myself, Shea Bermersky, and Julie McBride, who they all train with us, probably over half. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Chris Holbert, not to give anything away, came to the station yesterday for an interview that you might see tomorrow night. Anyway, I actually bounced it off him. I said, if I told you that Steve Dagostino would be our guest speaker, what would you think? He said, oh, well, that'd be great.
That's my guy,
That would be
Chris.
great. So,
yeah,
I mean, he gave me the response I was looking for.
There we go.
And then, not to give anything away, Olivia Owens came in a little bit later on, and I said to her, what if I told you? And she said, oh, that would be great. Yeah. And so that's the response I was looking for. Steven Dagostino locked in as our guest speaker this year. Love it. All right, Dags, give me your take on tonight. Those going to Glens Falls, you get a 6:30 rematch. These are all rematches. CBA and Shen. Shen won big second half earlier in the year, but CBA was missing one of their top players.
Yeah, I think Wasula.
That's who it was, and he's like a glue guy to them.
Yeah, made shots for him.
And then you've got your father's team, and I'm not going to ask you to predict outcomes, but they've got a rematch with Saratoga. They had Saratoga down by 9 in the fourth quarter earlier in the year, and Saratoga came back and won. That's another senior-laden team that's won like 17 games in a row.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
so match it up for me tonight.
Yeah, so CBA Shen I think is going to be a really, really good one. I think that with Wasula coming back, they did lose another starter, Brandon Grimes, for CBA. He sprained his ankle, so he's out for the rest of sectionals as well. But, what Shen does really, really well to a lot of teams is they say, okay, this guy is your leading scorer. We're going to take him out of the game, and let's see if your number 2, 3, or 4 can beat us. And that's what they did last time. And now
they took Jordan King out of the game.
They took Jordan King out of the game, and Signor, who I love, who's really, really good,
like him too,
didn't have a great game. So, he's going to have to step up, and Coach Domel is going to have them prepared. They're gonna know exactly what to do with that box and one. But I was at actually Shen last weekend doing a little bit of stuff with them, and I watched a little bit of their practice, and they're locked in and ready to go. They're one of these teams that anybody can step up. They play really, really well. They guard. They're locked in defensively. That's going to be a really, really good one. And I think there's like a little animosity there. I think I remember a couple years ago, it might have been like 6-7 years ago, wasn't there like a little scuffle at the end of one of the Shen CBA sectional games? So I don't know if those two programs even like they had, there's no love lost between them. So that'll be a battle for sure.
It won't be a 20-point game. I can tell you that.
No, I don't think so. And again, you never know what happens at this time of the year with 16, 17-year-old kids, where their head's at. They're driving all the way up to Glens Falls. They're playing in the big arena, all that stuff. But I got to think that Coach Zekas and Coach Domel will have their guys ready, and it should be a good one.
I know one thing. Domel will throw the ball to Signor. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
and he'll throw it to him on the low blocks with his back to the basket, because that's what that kid's all about.
Yeah, and they post up all their guys, their guards, their bigs, everybody, and they all do a really, really good job of facing the basket and finding the open guy if they don't have anything and all that. So it'll be a good one. Hulbert's going to have to step up. Merchant's going to have to step up. Sangari for Shen. They're all going to have to step up and score the basketball if they're going to want to win tonight.
I was told by our team of all-star scouts that Chris Holbert might be the best perimeter defender in Section 2.
He's a football guy, right? So he's a safety or a cornerback in football. So, he's used to guarding and putting in maximum effort. And listen, their diamond in one, box in one, whatever you want to call it, is so frustrating for the player on the other team that's getting all the attention, that the only way to beat it is for other guys to step up. It's like, do what you normally do. Don't get frustrated. Find a way to get your teammates open. When you do have the basketball, you have to make quick decisions. But I mean, they've done it for 3 years, and there's not many teams that have figured it out.
All right, Isaiah Mall, I know one thing is will be the best player on the floor tonight, period, of any of the teams.
Yep.
And Colony has the best player. How do you see the rematch between Colony and Saratoga?
Yeah, I mean, Saratoga, we train a lot of those guys. Shea Bermersky does them up in Saratoga. And, between Matt Larkin and A.J. Lawton and Brian Hart, the Chudy brothers, Will Fox, I mean, you don't know who's going to step up on any given night, which to me makes them tough. Their thing is they've won. So this senior class has won since they were in 5th grade. In CDYBL all the way up, they're winners. So it's no surprise that they're the number 1 seed this year. They've bought into what Coach Usher has wanted them to do all year. And for Colony to win, it's for all these teams, it's the same thing, but especially Colony, because when they lose, they don't execute, and they're terrible defensively, and they don't follow the game plan. They don't pass the ball. I mean, it's like, so like literally it's all things that you can control, right? So you can't control the ball going in the basket. I don't care what anybody says, but you can control your effort. You can control your defense. You can control taking early shots, all that stuff. And, if they play crazy, Saratoga will whoop them. If they play the right way and Isaiah plays like he should play and is a beast, then they're going to have a great chance to beat Saratoga. Saratoga is the number 1 seed, so it's going to take a great effort. But that's a toss-up game. The CBA game's a toss-up game. There's somebody on Twitter, Section 2 Basketball, his name's Ed Bestmas. He does like live stats for the games, and he's got like this predictor, and he puts in the matchups, and it predicts what the score is going to be. And while sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's way off, these 2 games of prediction is a tie in both games, which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So it'll be 2 really good games, and then literally you could pick out of a hat 25%. Every single team has the same chance to win the sectionals this year. So,
and you know what? It's been the double A's all year.
Yeah,
we have said, how often have we said it's wide open?
Yeah,
and here we are with a Final Four tonight. Going, boy,
it's cool to watch.
Nothing would surprise you tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely, literally nothing. If there was a blowout, that would surprise me. But
I don't think we'll have a blowout. I'm looking forward to it. Chris and Ashley will be all over this tonight. We'll have highlights, post-game reaction 11. The podium is yours for Dags basketball. What do you have coming up? I know you have a great website. I know you're swamped. I mean, it's not like you need more people ringing your phone off the hook, but it's a good thing to throw out something that for those who want some instruction for young players, Dags basketball is the way to go. Yeah,
we start our membership programs where players come in twice a week. We have a location in Saratoga that we use and in Colony, and then we do some private sessions at my gym in Schenectady. Our big thing that we're adding this year is Julie McBride's going to be home in May. We're starting like a girls, we're calling it the She Got Next project, And it's basically going to be something for young girls to build their confidence through basketball, and she's going to run everything. I mean, her resume is unbelievable. She's done stuff that I don't think anybody around here has really done on the women's side. So
former News Channel 13 All-Star.
Yeah, I mean, she's still playing pro. She's 36, has had 3 ACL tears. She's still playing. She was the MVP of the championship over in Poland. So I think it would be great to get, all the girls players, to learn from her and be around her and kind of what it takes to be successful, not only on the court, but off the court as well.
What's the best way to get in touch with Dags Basketball?
DagsBasketball.com.
Pretty darn simple.
There it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, great website.
Yeah.
A lot of hits, a lot of action, and Dags, and you have built this from the ground up.
Just trying
ground up.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it goes. Everybody wants to play in college. Everybody wants a scholarship, and you sit there and you're like, well, wait a second. Why don't we just worry about getting better today? Why don't we worry about having a good CDYBL career, a good high school career? Then everything else, if you're good enough, it'll all work itself out. The only person that can get a player to college is themselves by producing on the court. There's no AU coach, there's no trainer, if a player's good enough, they will have a shot to go play at the next level. And if they worry about just having a good high school career and doing the right things, then everything will work out fine.
Dags, you're the best, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry about the impromptu regarding the guest speaker, but it just came into my head, and I'm like,
I was nervous driving over here.
I told you put him on the spot. Started the show.
Our consultant would call that a really good tease.
Yeah.
Really good radio tease.
It was.
I was teasing Dags though. So
exactly.
So, all right, Steve, have fun. Are you going up tonight?
I am going to try to get up for the second game. I have workouts early tonight, and I'm going to try. Glens Falls is tough.
I know.
Yeah,
gosh. Cool and Shoring Arena tonight.
Even for me, I'm exit 10, so it's not too bad being almost to Saratoga. But even then, from Malta to Glens Falls, still
you got a 25-minute head start on us.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Thank you, Dags.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.